program is brought to you by FanDuel, where we give sports fans the chance to win every day.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Propels Talk. New Orleans Pelicans fall tonight to the Detroit Pistons 129-108 in a game where really the Pelicans had some opportunities early. They played pretty decent offense in the first half, but defensively, this team continues to have a problem. I mean, this is one of the worst defensive teams the Pelicans have ever had, if not the worst. 129 points tonight against a team that was missing Duncan Robinson, that was missing Cade Cunningham, that was missing Karis LeVert, that was, yes, the Pelicans were missing Trey Murphy, and that's a huge loss. That's a huge loss for the Pelicans in not having Trey Murphy, especially on a night where, the Pistons, who are not typically a good three-point shooting team, shot it really well from three. And we'll get into that more in a moment. But this is about the Pelicans' defense. Like this is about this team's defense so much, because there's just a couple of numbers that just show you again that this team cannot compete on the perimeter. This team cannot compete in the interior, cannot compete in just doing the simple basketball things that is required to be a good basketball team. Okay, the Pelicans are now 5-33. They have 39 losses, right? They have 39 losses. They are 5-33, 49 losses, excuse me. 5-33 when they give up 120 points or more. We're about to be joined by the good brother, the fair sir.
Whoa.
Lito the Gold is joining us.
Whoa now. What's up? What's up, good
sir?
Thank you, man. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Look, I was just talking about this, the Pelicans, and it starts with the defense. You were playing a team on the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
They had an overtime game the night before. They are missing their starting point guard. They're missing their best shooter. They're missing Karis LeVert, a veteran off the bench. They are down. You're missing Trey, which is a big loss for a team that can't shoot.
Yeah.
But you can't defend anybody tonight. And I thought, like, tonight, again, and that was the big difference, particularly in the second half, is that every time they tried to get anything going, they would give up another 10-0 run.
So, I'm going to say this. I didn't see the second half because I was driving, but the first half, I'm looking at who the Pistons have on the floor. And it was Kevin Huerter just started going off, and
going off.
There's a scouting report, right? You know what Kevin Huerter does. You know what he does. This is not a secret, right? Exactly. And this is a guy he did it to you in Sacramento. He did it when he was in Atlanta. Like, this is not a guy you should be surprised at. He's 4 for 7 from 3. He took 14 shots. And then if you look at it, they were kind of in the same position with, I think Duncan was out. So Huerter was getting a lot more shots. He got into a rhythm. I mean, Jenkins got off. I'm not expecting you to do anything with Duren. Honestly, like that's just going to cancel out. I'm not even tripping off that. But I do feel like if Duren is the focus of it, right? Like, I think the game plan should be what nobody else can get off. We can't let him get 30, him have 20, her to have 22. Like I think they top. They starting 5, I believe, was in double digits.
I mean, Tobias Harris almost had a triple-double. Tobias almost had a triple-double tonight.
Bruh, come on. Tobias, no disrespect to Tobias, but it's like, yo, when you get to the point with Tobias Harris, yeah, you right. He was 1 rebound and 3 assists short. God damn, man. Girl, but
like, we used to talk about Jalen Duren. You remember there was a time when Jalen Duren was on the in the doghouse with Monty Williams.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of talk about the Pelicans trying to steal Jalen Duren. and that they should have gone after him. And now you're seeing and when this is what gets me when people talk about, well, you got to wait this many years for guys to get it. Jalen Duren is 22, right? Jalen Duren is 22. He played on bad teams when he first got to Detroit, some of the worst teams in back-to-back seasons possible. And now he's running their offense and scoring in the low post. He was doing everything that, again, when you talk about Derek Queen and whatnot, the things that Jalen Duren was doing are the things the Pelicans would like to see out of Derek Queen. But physicality-wise, you couldn't match the Pelicans there either. Everybody on their team was way more physically intimidating than anybody on the Pelicans roster.
Man, Jalen Duren has been a I ain't gonna say a revelation because you saw hints of him doing this, but obviously K, what's up, Five? Obviously, K being there, it's not really a need for him to do this. But bro, they haven't missed a beat. And as far as the Queen point, them 7 assists that Duren had. I know we gonna talk about DQ. I do wanna talk about his game tonight, but shit, man. Again, Duren is gonna cancel out anybody who's on the floor. It could have been DeAndre Jordan, could have guarded him the whole whoever. Right, he's just gonna be a positive for them. But again, everybody else, man, this is just. I'm not even gonna say this is a game I didn't expect the Pelicans to win, obviously, because you can't expect a sub-30 win. You can't expect anything with a sub-31 team. But when I got back home with 2 minutes left in the fourth and I saw the score, I was like, golly. I don't know.
5. I mean, the defensive strategy tonight, clearly, again, you don't have Cade Cunningham, but you've seen Jenkins go off in these last few games, play really well, giving Pistons a big spark. They let him walk into threes early and get a rhythm. There was no pressure on him at the start of the game. He knocked down shots and got going early. Duren got going early inside. The Pistons didn't have any trouble establishing an offensive rhythm. And once the Pelicans was broken in any way, every time the Pistons could put together a good extensive run, it just seemed tonight nobody thought defensively about their responsibilities. You had a team that was coming in tired. You didn't press them. You didn't get up on them and force them to do anything with the basketball. They had plenty of time to make passes. The shots were clear all night long. The second chance opportunities were there for the Pistons. It just seemed like defensively the Pelicans did not come to play.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you miss Jose Alvarado, right?
Dang.
You needed some kind of injection of energy, someone to kind of tweak the game. But there were times where the Pelicans were able to get back in it. I think Jeremiah Fears, especially in the second half, was really good, and that unit was able to cut it to, I think it was 6, if I'm not mistaken, and just
got it down to 4.
Yeah, even lower. So you needed someone to help, just get them over a hump or force Detroit to call a couple of timeouts that they didn't want to call. Just be able to do that, and you just couldn't. And like you said, just having someone to pick up full court is super useful. What is a strategy, for a game like this? If you're looking at it from the Pelicans standpoint, how do you defend this team without Cade Cunningham? Because sometimes when the star goes out, you become lackadaisical, right? You're innate, oh, that's just the second unit. But this is a good basketball team.
Right.
You're playing good basketball teams. You're not playing basketball teams of your caliber. You're playing better teams. So the idea should be, we still should attack this team as if Cade Cunningham is still playing, although he's not. And I don't know how that gets lost in translation.
You know how.
I do.
you don't need nobody. What's up, bro?
Well,
and my bad, girl. I didn't mean to cut you off, girl. But you don't need somebody I saw somebody in the chat saying, who the fuck is Dennis Jenkins, right? And for the casual NBA fan, that's a valid question, right? But as somebody who has been watching him, if you're in the NBA, you've been watching them play. You've been watching him play since Cade went down. He's been effective. Matter of fact, somebody go throw a bag at him soon. Mm-hmm. So that's a dude you gotta know where he at, what's happening. Like, he's been playing high-level basketball. And tonight he did it again. I mean, he took 12 shots, 5-7 from 3, like 19 points, 9 assists. I don't know, man. The lack of IQ is really sometimes baffling with this team.
He did this earlier in the year too,
Ross. Ross. I mean, I'm gonna just let you go off on that because I thought that the third and fourth quarter defensively were just embarrassing efforts for the Pelicans, top to bottom. I'm also a bit concerned too when you look at the backcourt tonight. DeJounte, again, a little bit of a struggle tonight against a guy who kind of, and I said this in our chat, that Jenkins looks like a young DeJounte in a lot of ways. The same kind of length, athleticism, speed, but a better shooter, it looks like right now from 3. But it's like you were watching one move in super speed and get the shots that he wanted. And DeJounte really struggled tonight. And I thought that Pelicans just did not get a strong night from either DeJounte or Fears. And, that didn't help either.
No, look, and Detroit is a team that defends as a team. I think, I wonder whether you're starting to see a little bit of, I don't want to call it tired legs, because I think we were all super complimentary of the way DeJounte played. Like, I didn't expect him to play as well in those first few weeks. And I do wonder if you're starting to see a little bit of like mid-season legs for him, what would be mid-season. But I totally agree. The third quarter, especially, you just saw it really slip away quick. But overall, yeah, this was. I'm trying to think. This was the most disappointing game I can really recall in the last maybe month, where I just didn't feel like, even early on, even in the second quarter, where it was maybe like a 4 or 6 point game, it didn't feel that competitive to me. The other games felt competitive. The Knicks game felt really competitive. That Rockets game, some of the games you've lost, the Cavs game felt really competitive. This one didn't feel that competitive to me. And I think part of that is again, going back to, I know I get made fun of and poked fun of in the chat, but like, I don't believe in this roster that much. And so when you take a Trey Murphy off of it, you start to I say Trey tonight, but it was DeJounte early in the season. It's been Zion in previous parts of the season. You start to see that degradation of like, okay, this goes from a team that might not win but can compete to a team that really can't even compete when just one piece, as opposed to a team like Detroit that can lose Cade and still compete and still be a good team. The Pelicans just aren't there, I think, from a roster perspective.
To add on Ross' point a little bit, my bad. It's almost like, okay, I run a race, like I run. So like when you get to that first win, you're almost like tired. Like the realness kind of kicks in, the realization kicks in, the adrenaline is kind of wore down. Talking about like DeJounte, like, oh no, like basketball needs to be played. And from a mental standpoint, just the entire team, how long are you going to be able to play spoiler? That's cool and all when you're first like, oh, that's the identity we're going to be, right? We're going to just try to spoil other teams' like advancement into the playoffs. But your realization is like, we're not going no matter what we do. Like, you're an NBA team, you got to suit up. You may not have wanted to play tonight, but you had to. But this is the effort that you gave. Like, you can kind of tell, like, oh, these teams are kind of out of it. Like, this team is kind of out of it mentally, maybe. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Jared, and I think I totally agree with you, and I think you see it with this roster or this team, even since DeJounte's been back, of like, you saw them win games and be able to ride a little bit of momentum, even though they're out of it. They've been out of it for 2 months. But a win, even against a bad team, even against Washington, even against whoever, right? A win can buoy that, like, okay, yeah, a win is a win. Like, we're excited. And I feel like now you've seen the other side of that coin, which is loss to the Cavs, loss to the Knicks in a season that's over. Tonight felt like we know the season's over game to me.
Yeah.
It's starting to get to that place. And just to kind of, first, I'm going to give you all some quick numbers, but we go back to the DeJounte thing real quick. Pelicans 5-33 when they give up 120. They gave up 50% shooting tonight, 4-24 when they do that. They gave up 15 threes tonight to the Pistons. They're 3-28 when they give up 15 threes this season. The thing that shows you is there's so many of these lopsided.
Say that last one again. So what was it? They're
3-28 when they give up 15 threes.
Man, in today's
Tonight they
NBA,
gave up 15 threes to the Pistons.
that's an interesting one more than the others to me.
How so?
Because 15 threes is, I mean, it's a big number, but it's not like a crazy.
Oh, it is. I did this breakdown. I did a breakdown, and the three numbers for 3-pointers on a nightly basis, the numbers are 15, 37, and 40. If you hit 2 of those 3, you're probably going to win. If you hit 15 threes, shoot 37%, or get 40 attempts, you hit 2 of those 3, you're probably going to win. Pistons got 15 threes, shot 50% tonight.
My only statement to that, Ross, it feels like 15 isn't a lot in this version of the NBA, but it's a lot against the Pelicans because they don't shoot it well.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest differential is like you're not even close. You're not even getting the 10 makes.
Damn.
It doesn't matter. When you play against the Pistons who are bottom 5 in the league in 3-point percentage and makes, and then against you, they shoot like the 2017 Warriors. Like there's a problem defensively that is structural. This is beyond coaching. Like it's beyond coaching because we've seen this for 2+ seasons. There is not enough defensive-minded talent on this roster. You can't defend the inside. You saw how easy it was to throw passes. Everybody's cutting to the bucket against the Pelicans. Everybody. Nobody's bumping the cutter. Nobody's making it difficult for guys to go through the lane. It's just there is a disconnect. And everybody else, when you look at the Pistons, everybody on the floor, no matter who they put in, is communicating with the other dude defensively.
Yeah.
And the Pelicans act like they just met.
I know they're bottom 5 in 3-pointers, like the percentage, right? They don't shoot bad threes.
Mm-hmm.
They do not shoot bad threes at all. It's a bunch of Brady's, which is pick and roll to the big shoots to the corner blindly. They do a lot of that and a lot of pin down action for their shooters. And like they shoot really good threes, but ultimately they're just trying to get downhill. Right? They're shooting that 3 just to make sure they have enough space to attempt to get downhill because that's their bread and butter. And I think that their interior guys they're men. We have boys. Like Duran was doing whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. And like from a physical standpoint, Yves couldn't do nothing with him. Carlo couldn't do nothing with him. Damn, DeAndre Jordan couldn't do nothing with him. So we were dead in the water from there.
You know what? One thing that frustrates me.
What's up?
Is 2 players that is, and it's. I think it's just maybe it's because I'm white or something. But
no,
there's 2 players that have in my personal opinion, the Pelicans have had countless opportunities to go get.
Say his name.
Say
his name.
Both of them.
Yeah,
is Kevin Huerter,
bro,
and Luke Kennard. And both of them, like you, and I know I'm probably cherry picking because I admittedly I watched Detroit
about this before you came on.
Oh, I know I don't watch a ton of Detroit game, whatever. But of the games I see when Huerter has to play, it feels like when he plays the Pelicans, he kills it. He's the guy that we're all like, damn, it'd be nice to have him. Same with he goes to the Lakers. So he goes like every time the damn Lakers are on TV, I'm watching this guy hit 3 or 4 threes. It's like, and it's the player that we've been just itching for, like just the guy that come off the bench, do his like job, make threes, be sufficient on the other end.
You know. So shout out to I don't know what David Fisher had in the world, but shout out to David Fisher, man, because me and him used to have conversations about Kevin Huerter all the time. When Kevin Huerter was a Hawk and they didn't want to pay him, I'm like, bro, like it's a no nonsense move to me. Like it's a it's a no nonsense move to me. The Kevin Huerter part of the deal. The Pelicans are the only team, not the only team, but they're one. It's why they're a bad team, right? It's why they're a bad team because they don't have people who can, like, if Trey is out, right? There's nobody who can step in and do Trey's or even part of Trey's job. There's no people talk about the roster or whatever, or how much potential, y'all think they have. And like, I think Ross said this team doesn't have much talent. Like I've been singing that shit. When you go up and down this roster, it ain't a whole lot there. Like, it ain't a whole lot there. And the other thing is, like, I don't know why, but they just decide we have enough shooting, just enough shooting. Like they would rather go after a project or have a project that they try to develop into something just to have somebody who can specifically do a thing. Like, he comes in the game, he does his thing, he shoots the ball. That's it. He can't do shit else. I'm not looking for Kevin Huerter to do anything else. I don't want to. Granted,
he was putting it on the ground though too.
Yeah,
he was around the Pelicans. Kevin Huerter could put it. He was putting the ball on the ground and getting shots too. He had
Kevin
a
Huerter
couple
might be a
layups
top
on him,
5.
got in the paint.
Kevin Huerter might be a top 5 player on.
And it's this, or wherever. Where's the comment? It's this that gets me. I don't need them to defend.
That's what I'm saying.
I just need them to be in the way defensive. Like, no one on our roster defends. No one on our roster shoots either. Okay, like, and that's kind of the point. Is look, if they could shoot and defend, we wouldn't be talking about them, because they'd be somebody else. They'd be something else. Okay.
It's twofold though, Ross. It's like, on one end, like, they can shoot, and it'll help not only your team, but it will help Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy being the only shooter hurts Trey Murphy. It does not create space for him. Having someone else that can knock down shots consistently will help him be a better basketball player. Like, we always do this thing where Zion needs shooting. No, everybody needs it. Everybody benefits off it. And if you watch Kevin Huerter, I used to watch a ton of Detroit basketball, and even when he was in Atlanta, he's not like a bad defender.
Right.
Like, he's not like a cone out there. Like, they're just trying to get the switch so he can be guarded by, he can guard whoever's the best guard out there. No, he'll at least make you turn at least once or twice, and that's all you're asking for. That's why you have a team defense. Detroit plays team defensive basketball. That's what you would want anyway. So we need somebody. We need just multiple shooters, and then we'll figure out how to teach those guys how to play defense. One coach said this a long time ago. Like, you get the offensive guys and teach them how to play defense. Don't get the defensive guys and try to teach them how to play offense, because that shit never works.
I'm glad you said that thing about Trey Murphy, because it sometimes goes into this whole, like, Zion needs shooting thing, and and I can't help but think I can envision it now that they make, in some kind of universe where they make a Zion move, and what we're gonna be saying next year? Fears needs shooting and Queen needs shooting. The whole team needs shooting.
World needs, right. And one more point about that. My bad, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say five talked about the action that Detroit runs, right, where it's pin downs but they get into the basket. But like, what makes that so much easier is when you got a 5 in Jalen Duren, who's versatile enough to either make the next pass or take the shot. He creating a play, right? And Grub, you and I were talking before everybody was on the stream just about how, a couple years ago, I turned my back. Yeah, go ahead, you with us, shoot that. I'm not tripping. Or you don't have the IQ to make that next play. But that all goes back to growth and development as a basketball player, because in the same breath, like, why your guy can't do that? Why we can't do them same things? Like, obviously we don't have the shooting, but like, why am I not seeing 7 assists from said player or a double-double or damn near a triple-double? Like, I should be able to see that type of development from him too.
Let's talk about then the guy again, Zion Williamson tonight, 13 shots, shot it efficiently again. And and this is what bothered me. I don't know if y'all watched the pregame show tonight, but they were up there pumping up this thing about Zion 20 points and 60% field goal percentage for another month or whatever. And he's done this plenty of times in his career. But as we've talked about plenty of times this season, where was the impact? Like Zion got a bunch of those dunks to me were in the fourth quarter when the game was out of hand. He got like 3 dunks late. He had 2 assists tonight. 5 rebounds.
2 assists.
So 2 assists. So again, the impact, and like we just talked about this with Jalen Duren, a guy who is not taking threes, right? Duren is not out there shooting a bunch of threes. He's a big who can control the basketball, get to his spot, make passes to his teammates, rebound, and block shots. He did all of those things. Zion had an opportunity with no Trey. You know the shots that's 15 shots right there with no Trey. 15 shots up for grabs tonight. Zion has been shooting about 11 shots a game over the last month. So why are you not taking advantage of these shots? You can't tell me that this is a coaching design issue, that they are trying to keep the ball from him. It's at this stage of the season, we all have to, there has to be some agreement that this is on him more than anybody else.
Oh, for sure. I hate the fact that Trey's out and you didn't think like, I need to get up more shots. Like, who cares about the field goal percentage right now? Like, I need you to fail forward. I wish that, I didn't watch the pregame show because honestly, it's not that great. But not Joel and AD. I fuck with them. Shout out to my dogs. But if you're Zion, you're looking at it like, all right, my tandem, one half of my tandem is out. I need to be more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
You come out in the first quarter, I think someone put in the chat 5 shots. Like, that just let me know, like, you wasn't trying to win. Cade's not playing. The other star that you're going against isn't playing. You're going against a perennial all-star, and I think Jalen Duren probably for the East. I think he will be, but he's a defender. Like, you could have made a statement against him. Like, this was an opportunity for you. But you just mailed it in. Got you 13 shots, 8 of 13, I believe. I guess that's an average night. Yeah. Okay.
And Grubb's right. I think 4 of those shots came in the last 4 minutes, and they were down 15 or 18. Game's over. And you took 13 shots, and I'm saying 4 of them were in the last couple minutes when you were out there in garbage time.
So 5 were in the first quarter.
And so so you took 5 in the first quarter and a handful in the last 3 or 4 minutes when the game was over. I can do that math. You took 3 shots in the belly of the game.
I could divide.
It's just not. I don't. I said what I said 2 games ago, and I stand by it. I don't see it. I don't see a fire. I don't see I just see a guy. Like, I just see another player out there, like a good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm a good player, but that's it.
That's not good enough.
But that's
not good enough.
And I don't see a tough player. I don't see a game changer. I don't see, I just see another player out there that could be anybody.
It ain't good enough. And Grubb, I heard the same thing on the broadcast. I heard whatever the stat was, and I was thinking to myself, like, obviously, shout out to them because they got to do their job. You know what I'm saying? Like, they company men, but like, it's not making a bit of a difference. It's not making a bit of a difference. It does not matter. It is not leading to anything. And to be honest, like, shit, at the same time, like that, these routine 20-point games of his, these routine 20-point games of his, like, bro, if you're gonna be aggressive in the fourth quarter when the game is over, or in the first quarter, like, I was mad at Borrego when Borrego put him in last game when Fears was cooking. You could have just left Fears in the game. Leave Fears in the game. Let Fears hoop. Because like, bro, he just, this is who he is. He doesn't want to be he doesn't want the responsibility of being great. You know what? I don't know that. I don't know if he doesn't want the responsibility. His game is telling me he doesn't. I haven't heard him say that. Like, I just don't see him ascending into anything else. People always talk about, man, he go to another team, he gonna do this. Bro, like, if that's what it is, that's fine. Because it's not happening here.
You can't make it. You can't make it. Like that saying as that parents tell their kids all the time, I can't want this for you more than you want it for yourself. All those things that you've heard before. That's where we keep ending up with Zion Williamson. And if you play a game like this, where your team could have lost if you hadn't shown up and you're the star, like they could have gotten blown out. He could have just, if Trey was sitting out, you could have sat right next to him and we could have gotten the same result tonight. I think it still would have been this similar result without him. And that, to me, when they start talking about giving him an extension this offseason, they start talking about that, you start hearing these things that they're already looking at giving him another $100 million. And you're like, for what? We're in year 7. We're about to go into year 8. Like, to me, this is a dude that and I know I missed that show, but to me, this is, if he's still under contract when you get to the expansion draft, he's one of the ones I'm letting be available for folks to take off my hands.
It's comments like the one that I put up here that just drive me insane. As if since Borrego took over, Saddiq Bey has taken somewhere in the order of like 13 to 16 shots a night. Zion has taken less than that. If you are of the belief that James Borrego has developed an offensive system that wants Saddiq Bey to have more of an influence on the offense than Zion, then I kindly suggest you get out of the chat and just do something else with your time. This has nothing to do with James Borrego. Not one thing. It didn't have anything to do with Willie Green. I now believe it didn't have anything to do with any coach that he's ever had. This has everything to do with Zion Everything. 100.0. No one else. This is no one else's issue. No one made Zion take 13 shots tonight. No one. Other than number one, Zion Williamson. Just stop this. It's nonsense. Stop. Get help.
I just want to see.
I think we all agree that Borrego was coaching for this job. He wanted the job. Go ahead.
My bad. No, I was just saying I want Buddy to attempt to get 40 in a loss. Like I want you to shoot 20, 25, potentially 30. That'd be awesome or world breaking. Like, do something out of the norm, please. Like, to show that you care. Go over 30. I wouldn't care. But at least you tried. Like, that's where we are now. We're at the try stage. And if you have to ask someone to try, you probably should rethink the thought of giving them an extra contract. Like, you're almost begging him to do more. You know, when people get raises at jobs that they already work, usually they have to show the initiative to get the raise. We're trying to give him the raise to entice him to do more. That's ass backwards.
Yeah.
And Breeze, you are 100% right. You are 100% right. He has been the leading scorer every year he's been here. He's also been the highest paid player most years he's been here. And guess what that has equated to? 30, 31, 36, 42, 49, 21, and 25. That's your win total. That's what it's led to. I don't care if you've been the leading scorer for those teams. Well, what does that tell me? What does that tell me? If you're that guy on that team, what does that say? That's the whole point we're trying to make. I'm not even trying to throw shade on Zion. I'm not. I think Zion would be an awesome second or third best player on a championship level team. I'm not blaming Zion for who he is. I'm not. I think he should take more shots. I'm blaming him for not taking more shots. because he has that opportunity and he doesn't do it. I do blame him for that. I don't blame him for who he's not. And who he's not is a superstar. He's not a player that's going to lead you to a championship. He's not a player that's going to lead you deep into the playoffs. You know how I know that? Because I've been watching him for 7 years and he hasn't done it and he hasn't gotten better. So what I'm frustrated at is not Zion. It's at the team that will not make the necessary changes. And they have an opportunity this offseason to do it. Zion proved he could be healthy. Move him to a situation that could be more conducive for him and will be more conducive for you. Okay, but there is no longer this conversation around building around Zion. That doesn't exist. Building around a player that gets you 25, 21, 31, 28 wins, that doesn't exist.
No, he's Zach LaVine, right? Like, I mean, Zach LaVine was the leading scorer for the Bulls for like 7 straight years. They didn't make the playoffs but once. And then he's been the leading scorer in Sacramento for the last 3 years. They ain't been doing much with him. So, it's just somebody's got to lead a bad team in scoring, right? Somebody has to. Everybody's got somebody, no matter if you got 10 wins, somebody's going to be your leading scorer. But I think we do need to kind of talk about DeJounte too, in this sense. Like, look, the Pelicans are 5-7 with DeJounte in the starting lineup. 5-7. And you look at those 5 wins, there ain't a lot of good wins in that group. You talking about Utah, Washington, Golden State without Steph. Like, the wins, those 5 wins are not great. They were 4-0 in the games that he's missed. So they're 9-7 since he's been back. Justin, posted something on Twitter where he said, he's the starting point guard for next year. And I'm okay with that, but they're also talking about extending him too. And I think that neither one of them can be considered long-term pieces. If you're keeping DeJounte, to me, it's understanding that it's purely as a mentor role to allow Jeremiah to continue to grow. Because you saw they played together in the fourth quarter tonight. I think that Borrego will probably try that a little bit more now that everything's done. But clearly, again, I think that there are some long-term concerns for DeJounte. Because, again, another 5 turnover night. In about almost half of his games, he's had at least 4 turnovers, which has been a problem since he's been with the Pelicans. Yeah, he's just getting back into it, but it's a lot of turnovers. So I think that this just further illustrates why the Pelicans are such a mediocre team. Your top 2 players on your roster, as far as your leadership goes, are guys who can only take you so far.
I'm not too worried about DeJounte. I think eventually his play will even out, right? Like, he needs time. And I get it. Like, the adrenaline is probably running from him, coming back from an injury. He's playing, he's feeling good about himself, but also bad habits do, happen. So, and he hasn't had time to really mesh with these guys. It's a brand new group, it's a different mindset. So everybody's on a different accord. But also, I do think it's good for him to start. Like, I know I might be a psychopath or one of one in this group, that I think it's beneficial for Jeremiah Fears to see the game first and then, take the starting job from him. Like, I think he needs to seize the job from DeJounte to propel his career forward. I do not want to give him anything at this point. So if the sacrifice of the team at this current juncture relies on DeJounte, starting, and he has, high turnovers, I'll accept that for right now until Fears is ready to take the mantle from him.
No, Fab,
I don't think anybody, and I'm gonna let you go, Lito. I was just gonna say, Lito, I don't think anybody's disagreeing with Five that DeJounte comes back next year starting. I think that's fine. I think we would all say, but I just don't want them to invest long-term in DeJounte either, because I don't think that's an answer here. To give him more money at this stage, I don't think that helps long-term. Another year, I'm cool with that. But if we start thinking about, DeJounte is a piece, no. That's how you end up with 42 wins again.
Valid.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what Five just said, and I agree with what you just said, Grub. Long term, no, but a steadying hand to guide Fears to, for sure. I don't have a problem. I actually, to be honest, I think that's probably the smart move. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a smart move because I kind of look at young point guards like probably how the NFL does young quarterbacks, right? At some point, once your original team kind of gives up on you, it's hard for other teams to start seeing that same value in you. And I think Fears is good enough. Not saying that's gonna happen to him at all, but I think Fears is good enough to where he got a very bright path ahead of him. And I don't think the Pelicans need. I mean, the Pelicans ass. There's no reason for them to rush his process, right? Let him take the lumps. Let him learn. Let him. You know, you've seen improvement from him since, for me, All-Star or whatever. Like it maybe a little bit before that. The game is slowing down for him. Like the sky's the limit for him. Don't rush him. Just let him grow into his game.
No, well, let's talk about Queen. And Queen had a bounce back game in a lot of ways. And again, going back to the pregame, he comes on and apologizes to the fans during the pregame show. So his having some pretty bad games lately. But tonight he had a pretty solid game. Was aggressive with the basketball, rebounded it pretty well. A good night for Derek when he needed one.
My bad, Fabi, you about to go?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, the conversation we had Monday or was it Sunday about DQ, when Justin was like, he was upset that I was disappointed. I was disappointed because this is what I want to see. I want to see an aggressive version of him. I want him to look for a shot, right? Like, yeah, the facilitation is great, but like if you got a mismatch, you crafty enough, and you saw some dribbling from him tonight where he was getting people, out of his space. I mean, he had 3 turnovers, but he still doesn't have. It's going to be difficult for him to score at the rim right now until he kind of shores his body up. But he was getting there, and he was aggressive. And I appreciate the apology. Straight up, I appreciate the apology, because this is the thing. As a basketball player, the ball is not going to go in every time. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to make all the shots. But the mind state of being aggressive, staying aggressive, and then let it transfer to the other side of the court. Like he had 11 rebounds too. That's huge. That's huge. Just because you can't score doesn't mean you can't rebound, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, be a complete basketball player. Don't just be stymied by the things that you see, especially on this team. Don't let bad habits creep in, and that's why I was disappointed.
How crazy is it that that Queen had 13 shots at 20 minutes, and Zion had 13 shots at 30 minutes? Like, just the level of aggressiveness for Queen when he got in. I mean, he was just putting the ball on the ground and going at the bucket. And again, we talked about this with Zion too, and I don't want to belabor this too much, but it used to be that the offensive rebounding was the one thing you could count on with Zion. Like, you knew he was going to get second chance buckets around the rim because they couldn't stop him on, that second jump. You're not seeing those either. You're not seeing those offensive rebounding scores, and that's why we see his rebounding total so low. He's not hitting the glass on the offensive end.
I don't think he's taking as many. But it was always, and this was always one of those things I wondered whether it was sustainable, because it was always his own shot. It wasn't offensive rebounding in the way you might talk about traditional offensive rebounding. It was always him rebounding his own shot, which requires you consistently driving to the basket and shooting. And that's what I'm saying. It's kind of the weird thing. Like, he's still shooting at a really high clip. He's just taking less shots. He's just putting himself in that position less often. And I think that's why you're seeing less of it. It's like if he was taking 16, 17, 18 shots a night, probably 2 of those would be putbacks. But he's just not – he's just having these bouts of game. Me and Justin have talked about this a bunch. He's just having these long stretches of games where you don't even notice he's out there. He's not – there's no there's nothing. He's just out there, but there's nothing happening. That's what's frustrating to me. It'd be one thing if it was like, hey, he's taking less shots, but he's driving and dishing. I mean, he's super involved. He's not. Like, he's just out there, and that's what frustrates me more than anything. It's like you can't just be another player.
I don't want you. I don't want you to address this comment right here. His drives aren't there because he sees a wall. Do great players not see walls?
His defense out there. Imagine that. My bad, Fa.
Oh, I ain't saying nothing. You got it.
Do great players see walls?
I mean, I'm trying to figure out who doesn't see a wall. I mean, Devin Booker saw double teams in a pickup game. I mean, they're everywhere. That's what stars see. But the real stars figure out how to get past it. That's basketball, bro. You try to take the ball out of the best players' hands to make the other people score. It's usually kind of how that works, right?
It's like,
or you change your game.
I mean, they put
or you develop something to counteract the wall. The 12-foot jumper we've been begging for years. The floater we've been begging for years. I've been a proponent of him never shooting threes because I don't think he'll ever be good at them. But to not be able to take a floater or be willing to take a floater, or this one's going to blow your mind, a counter spin and just lay it up with your right hand. Where's it? Hold on. I bet I still got it loaded in here. I bet it might still be in here. Maybe we took it out. But I mean, it to just have no other thing other than a drive to your left hand on the left side of the basket. This is elementary shit, man.
That's what it feels like, Ross. Like, you know, in Pee Wee League, they got that one good kid and they just let him run, you know, wing T and it's, 28 sweep and he's hitting the sideline and going. But as you get older, as you get to junior high and high school, you're not able, and even college, you're not able to just go left or go right. You got to switch some shit up. Basketball is no different.
I don't understand this.
First Toronto 2019. You just picked out one like bullet point out of measurable out of
We're talking about Giannis. Now? Like we comparing Giannis to Zion. Like people have tried this before, and you cannot compare a multiple-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, first team All NBA, perennially Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, to Zion Williamson. We're not doing that. Like we have all given Zion his opportunity to say we've all said he's a fantastic talent. We've all said he can score. We all have. There's not a person up here on this panel or on this channel or whatever who has ever said that they didn't think Zion Williams could be an exceptional basketball player. But he just ain't. Like we all before the season said it was on Zion. Joe Dumars said it was on Zion, that this was about Zion Williamson. This season was about Zion. And so here we are with 25 wins, and Zion has played the vast majority of the games this year. If it's all about Zion, then the proof is in the pudding. You got 25 wins. You got 25 wins, and he's been available for 60 games. What are we doing? I mean, like, the impact isn't there. Giannis made bad teams better. Mm-hmm. Giannis made bad teams better. Zion in year 7 is not making his bad team better. It doesn't matter if he's there or not. It doesn't matter if he's there or not. You can win 25 wins without him.
Yeah, I mean, peak Giannis was, he threw out those first 2 years when he was coming off the bench playing just a couple minutes a night, averaging 19, 20 shots a game. Peak Giannis, when he was basically unstoppable, and they were building that wall that whoever put that up was talking about, actually was taking almost 5 threes a game. Nobody thought Giannis was some elite shooter, but he was trying. That's what gets me. Is like, this is a guy who was trying so hard to win and wanted to do things so badly that he was taking almost 5 3-pointers per game. We can't get Zion to take one. I don't even want him taking them. But the point is, Zion, and this was what I said a couple nights ago, it felt like he has stopped trying to me. Yes, he's out there playing. I'm not saying that he's not running up and down the court. I'm not saying it felt like Zion has stopped trying, in my opinion. He's just out there, just out there playing.
Can we one second? Can we address? yo, Ken, I seen you write this twice, right? Two things can be true. Here's the thing. Willie Green was not a good coach. As far as Borrego, I'm not trying to save his job. Like, whoever, if there's a better coach available, give him the job. That's my word. Give him the job. If there's a better coach available, right, when the season is over, by all means, do your due diligence and give him the job. I don't care who it is, as long as it's not Darvin Ham. I'm cool with that. The other thing is, the roster still does suck. There are many different points in this conversation that we can address that are true. The roster does suck. Willie Green was not good. James Borrego is not coaching very well right now, right? If you do retain Borrego, you have to give him players that can play to the strength of his game plan. Whatever coach comes in, let's take Borrego out of the whole picture. Whatever coach comes in, you got to overhaul a roster so that they can actually have players that can play the game plan. And that's honestly probably starting with moving the quote in the breeze, the best scorer on the team. Like, you got to start there and then work your way down to the roster. So yeah, a lot of the things in there you said, yeah, Willie wasn't good. Again, not trying to save Borrego's job. I don't know Borrego. I don't know him. I'm not trying to save his job. Saving his job does nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's his job, he's gonna get the job. But anyways.
Like with Borrego, we've always just pointed out they've gotten better. Not that Borrego's great, but we've said that they have. The numbers show they are a better performing team across the board on offense and defense in a great number of categories with Borrego. We've also said, we had a full show on this where we said, if there is a coach, take him. Same thing Lito just said. If there's a better coach out there, take him. But this idea that a Mike Malone is coming to New Orleans, this idea that there's a great coach sitting out there who's got championship experience, who's champing at the bit to come and coach in New Orleans with this organization and these players and that front office and that owner and that arena, that stuff is misguided right there. This idea that you're going to just solve all these problems at one time. You got a lot better chance at solving the roster construction first than getting the coach.
You know, when kids go through puberty, they start, getting bumps and shit, and the doctor will prescribe some shit called like Accutane, right? And he says some shit like, it's going to get worse before it gets better. We're at that point right now, right? Like, Borrego is the Accutane, right? Like, you needed to get Willie out just to have a clear slate and actually see what your true problems were. Because you were going to go back and forth of like, do we have the right coach? Do we have the right roster? And then it was going to be, is Zion a star player? Now you can look at it and be like, well, we still have those same questions, but we can see it a little clearly because at least I'm getting better production from an offensive standpoint. And I can look at the numbers and dictate like, okay, at least at minimum, I know what a team could look like with this roster. But it ain't good. Now I can determine what I actually need to have a better performing roster. That's what I always thought about, like Borrego, just giving you a steady hand to look at. Now, if there's a better hand to guide this roster, get it. By all means. I'm just not one of a fan to say Darvin Ham is that hand. Darvin Ham? Oh, God, that's crazy. I'm just don't do that to me, because then I just won't be a fan. I won't show up on this podcast anymore. I'll just text the group on the side and be like, hey, how's y'all's team going? Because it won't be mine anymore. I just can't do it. But I just want to see a productive game of basketball. I think Borrego does provide that for the Pels. If there's another coach out there that's better, I hope the Pelicans get him.
Where do you get this idea that there's too much talent? Where does anybody get the idea that this team has too much talent for anything?
Oh, my God.
For anything. Too much talent for... Man, too much talent. They have lost by 20...
I
Ross, please.
This is the one I just don't get it. I don't know, and I don't want to belabor it. I don't even really want to sit here and talk about it too much more. I so wholeheartedly disagree, and I have since before the season started. This is delusion at its absolute worst, that this roster has any more talent than any roster in the entire NBA. Any. Period. Any. Like, you could go through every single roster. I don't think we have any more talent than anyone. I think I could probably make a pretty compelling argument that we have bottom 2 or 3 talent. We don't have an all-star. Like, what are we talking about? I just don't get it. I really don't. I don't even feel the need to argue it because it's insane.
Ross, who are those other teams? Who's the bottom with the Pels?
I don't know, because I feel like people would probably say Washington, and I think Washington has like far more talent.
A lot of talent.
Far more talent.
Washington has more talent.
I think
Washington has more talent. You got Trae Young, you got Anthony Davis just right there. You put that above Pelicans.
It's not even close. Alex Sarr. I mean, it's not even close. Just from a pure talent perspective, I don't know. I think you would probably Sacramento, but like Sabonis healthy is a perennial all-star.
Max Marino.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Utah got more talent than the Pelicans. Somebody said Utah.
The point I'm making is this type of thing gets said too much. Too much talent to do too much talent for this, too much talent for that. I think we're a bottom 3 or 4 talent team. So, hell, I'd argue Borrego's done more with the talent than he was supposed to. Willie was doing probably what he was supposed to do with the talent, maybe a little less. We were dead last in the league with Willie. He was probably doing a hair less. I think Borrego's probably doing a little more. The point is, this is not a talented roster. People have to stop doing that. You don't have an all-star on the team. You haven't had an all-star for many years now. Like, this is crazy. Crazy.
I think people are comparing themselves to the talent on this team, saying that they're a talented group rather than comparing them to other teams in the NBA. Because half the time, the only time they watch other teams in the NBA is when they play the Pelicans. You don't watch them against the other teams in the NBA. That's why your view is skewed. You think our team is talented. No, watch the other teams play the other teams. You will get a different view of basketball. I promise you. It's probably a more enjoyable watch too.
One more thing. Can I just
we got an hour on it.
Sorry, my bad, OG. My bad. I just wanted to say, you do not average 26 on 60 and not be a superstar.
Yes, you do. Who averages that?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Who's doing that? Who's the player he's talking about?
I think this is about Zion. I think.
Oh, he must be talking about Zion 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
that's year 2, Zion.
Yeah, I mean, when he did that, he was an all-star.
So this is the thing, and check this out. If you averaging 26 right now, in today's NBA, right, current day, present day NBA, if you averaging 26, you are the 11th highest scoring player in the NBA right now. You're not a superstar still. Like, motherfuckers is averaging 34 points a game. Like, what? Like, the high 30, 34, 32, 30. Like, bro, like, people are putting the ball in the basket.
Well, yeah, because 21 on, because you know what 21 on 60 is?
What's that?
Not even an all-star when you play 70, however many games Zion's going to play this year. That's what I don't get. Look. It's this one. Another one. I don't know what this means.
We got a lot of dudes in the league that are all-star talent. I've never said Zion is not an all-star talent.
I don't know what that means anymore. Like, if you want to tell me, I don't know, like, who's a second-year player? Zion didn't just get in the league, guys, and maybe girls. Like, he's not new to this. He didn't just get here. I don't an all-star talent. It's like, man, it's like me going in and telling my boss, like, hey, I'm $1 million employee. They're like, yeah, we ain't giving you $1 million because you ain't never earned $1 million. Be like, yeah, but I'm $1 million employee. And they're like, well, fuck it, we just disagree. I don't understand this notion of somebody being, if you've never earned something, how can you be that?
It's the potential drug. You see it in everything. Like people get drafted off potential. Like, when do you stop grading people on potential? Like, when does the realization really kick in? I remember when I was a freshman at LSU. I'm sorry for going on tangents about stories. I remember I was a freshman at LSU, and I was like, I'm gonna try out for the basketball team. Right? I had a partner, Matt Dernbecker. Shout out to him. Rest in peace. He played at Country Day. He played at Ponchatoula, and he was on the team. He was like, yeah, man, just come to the trials. Like, I played AAU basketball, him and his father, for many years. And I went to the trial, and I was like, I'm not good enough. The realization hit, like, this basketball shit over for me. When is the realization really hit and be like, Zion is who he is. You are who you are. Like, why are we think next year he's going to be like this dominant player? And for how long is that actually going to extend? 2, 3 years, maybe? Like, what is the rest of his career going to look like? Because if you base it on the first 7 years, 9 times out of 10, we're probably at the peak of Zion.
And this is where the problem is.
I think we. Oh, go ahead.
No, this is where the problem is. This is where the problem is, because you type in with your heart. You type in with your heart. Just because nobody disagrees or nobody agrees with the Zion superstar points or the points about talent on the team, that don't mean people not fans of the team, dog. Yeah. That like, y'all gotta stop with that. That's bullshit. Because I don't think the team is talented, or the people in the chat don't think the team is talented, that we not fans of the team. They're a sub 30 win team. I'm gonna fucking joke about. We go joke about them, dog. They go catch jokes because they are not good. I'm not understanding. Like, you got to take your heart out of it and think logically and see. Look, put your calculators down. Look at the game.
I have never seen so much nostalgia for a 49-win team that finished as the 8th seed and got swept in the first round. Like, I keep seeing, what about the 40? You were the 8th seed and you got swept in the first round. That is not a golden age to go back to. That is not the end all be all. Like to that be the peak of the Zion Williamson era. And he didn't even play in those games, and you got swept badly. Like, it wasn't even a close sweep in them 4 games. That should tell you that's the best team you've produced, and that's how far away you were from the number 1 seed that year. You have only gotten worse in the 2 years following that. Like, you got further away from where the Thunder are over the last 2 years, and you got folks saying that this team is too talented when you are 50 wins almost behind the best team in the league. You are 30 wins behind the team you played tonight, and they beat you by 21. Like, you don't beat good teams. You don't beat average teams. You don't beat anybody but teams on your level and below. You're not talented. There's no coach who can screw that up that bad. And we're not defending Borrego in any of this, but there's no coach who could screw up a supremely talented team that bad to where they can't beat anybody. I don't care who you put it. Phil Jackson. I don't care. James Naismith.
I find this shout out James Naismith. I find this comment to be the most insulting of all of them. Personally insulting, because there's not and I've told people within the organization this directly when they have said stuff like this to me, and I've said it in here before. There's nothing more insulting than telling a bunch of guys who stay up, watch every one of these shitty fucking games, and then stay up after the game to do a podcast on it and talk about it, that we're not fans. And to go a step further, I spent my own hard-earned money to bring my 7-year-old and a bunch of his friends and their parents to a game last week for his birthday. That's how many games we watch in my house. that my whole house, including my 6-year-old, now 7-year-old son, is a huge fan. Like, don't tell me I'm not a fan. That's insane. That's idiotic. You're an idiot. Don't tell me I'm not a fan. I don't have to be delusional about the state of the team to be a fan. I can be realistic about that and still want the team to win. I want them to win. In fact, I stay up so much doing this as a reflection of how much I want them to be good at some point.
Yep.
That's how much I like the team. That's how much of a fan I am. I'm not an idiot. I'm a fan. You, Breeze 31, I don't know what you are. Yes, I get frustrated watching a 25 and 30 win team that continues to double down. You heard Grubb a little while ago say that they're thinking about doubling down on DeJounte. Last year, they doubled down on Herb. You're doubling down on the same thing that's getting you 25, 28, 31 wins. You don't find that frustrating to be mediocre or bad and double down on being mediocre or bad? We're just not the same then. I don't like this may not be the show for you. This may not be the place for you, and that's okay. It's okay.
I think they just want a cult, man.
I think we spent a lot of time on this game, and the Pelicans are back on the court tomorrow against the Raptors. I kind of look at the Raptors as the Pelicans East, very similar roster construction, two teams that ain't that good, can't shoot it that well, same kind of players and whatnot. Zion is that's the quote of the night tonight. That's the one.
Jesus Christ.
But tomorrow in Toronto, closing out this road trip and then coming back for Houston. It's gonna be a rough weekend for the Pels. But before we go, any thoughts for tomorrow, Ross?
I think they'll bounce back. I think they'll play better than they played tonight. I didn't realize Trey was out tonight. So is that
sprained ankle? Is what they said.
Yeah, look, if you anytime one of those five are out, I think you're going to get a bad performance. But I don't. To be honest, I didn't realize Trey was out tonight. If he's out tomorrow, that's not going to be good. I think if he's back though, I expect to see a competitive game.
Yeah, I want to see if Derek Queen can double up on this performance, right? Like that's the thing I'm watching for. Like I don't care about the wins right now. Yeah. Truly, I do not care about the wins. I'm trying to see if the young guys can be consistent and close out a season. Like, what are you trying to get better at? You got 11 rebounds tonight. Can you get 12 tomorrow? Right? Can you screen more? Can you get more assists? I know we kind of briefly talked about Queen. I love the way he played tonight, but his energy was up. Like, can your energy be up again and again? Like, can this be a continuous thing? So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I think it's pretty much clear that Borrego is not going to be back next year. What do you think he can do over these last few games, starting with tomorrow, to kind of like we saw tonight him mix up DeJounte and Fears in the backcourt together? You think we're going to see more of those types of things that now that he can really kind of? I mean, I think he's got to feel like there's nothing we're not chasing the play-in anymore. Yeah. I can do some things. Do you expect to see some of that, some lineup, changes as we get in these last 8 games of the season?
Yeah, I think so. I think he can definitely explore creativity probably a bit more than he wanted to, a bit more than he could, like early on when he took the job, because you got to think, like you said, I know he may feel the pressure of him not coming back, and at the same time, he's likely coaching for his next assistant spot, wherever that may be, or if the coach who they hire may want to retain him, that's certainly something to think about. However, yeah, like why not just lean into whatever creative thoughts you've had like throughout the season when you were sitting on the bench behind Willie, like you saw things that maybe you thought you could have made work, but once you got the actual opportunity, they were so busy trying to get back into contention for the play-in that you had to kind of take your foot off the gas at that point. We saw him have to play the rookies very early on because he had no real other choice. Right now, they're taking a back seat. You got the veterans back, and man, I'm just looking to see basically what Five said too, like just building upon the rookies, like seeing them continue to grow, Because I mean, team wise, there's nothing to show. They're playing for nothing, to be honest. But pride. That's the thing. That's the thing they're playing for. Pride. That's what you would hope to see, and that's what I want to see from man. Look, Zion, got nothing to play for, bro. Go ahead, take 25 shots the next however many 10, 12 games they got left. Just go ahead, shoot the ball until nobody's gonna tell you stop. Nobody's gonna say Zion, that's a bad shot. Nobody's gonna say Zion, pass me the ball. Nobody's gonna say that. Shoot the ball. Just find a way. I wish Zion had an ego. I really do. I really wish he had an ego.
Great players have egos. Great players are assholes. You ever seen a great player that wasn't an asshole? Show me one. I mean, like, every one of them is an arrogant son of a bitch, right? If you're around somebody who's going to be the best player, every one of them thinks every night that they step on the court, I'm better than everybody in this building. Like, there's no one here. And you don't see that from Zion Williamson, right? Have you ever felt that? We love basketball. We watch everybody, I think, insulting you. We ain't insulting nobody. Like, this is exactly what Ross was talking about, is that we are not talking about people here. We're saying, if you don't like what we're delivering, you don't have to watch. We're not attacking anybody. We've not attacked the player. We've not attacked the coach. We're just talking basketball. So if you think that we're insulting to you, that's even more of a reason maybe this isn't for you. Because we love basketball. We love basketball. So what are we telling you that's what's being insulting to you? Are we talking down to people? I don't think we're doing that. Are we calling people names? I don't hear that either. We're talking ball. And if you disagree, that's cool. We disagree with each other.
Right.
But I'm not going to legislate how people going to be a fan.
Hey, Grub, appreciate that. I do be talking down. Some of y'all are idiots. Y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. Bump all that. Some of y'all like it. I do. And we can have a difference of opinion about a lot of different things. But some shit, nah, dog. Fuck all that.
I mean,
That's the end. That's the way to end it. We're going to be back tomorrow after the Toronto game. 4-5, for Lito, for Ross. I'm Derek Green, and this has been Pro Pels Talk.
Hey, you dropped your wallet. And this just in, attorney Scott Vickner was seen chasing an ambulance. Wow.
For real?
But that's David Bickner, not Scott.
I'm still confused.
Ambulance chaser?
Hey, you dropped your mom?
My wallet. Oh, thanks, Dave.